Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Indah Pareza and I am from NK1 and I would like to explain a short story and the title is Rapunzel by Prince Brother. Okay, Rapunzel is the tale of a girl traded away by her parents in return for their light. She is trapped in a tower and has extremely long hair which her mother used to climb the tower. A prince hears her singing and climbs the tower several times until they decide to run away together. Through a mishap of speech her mother finds out. Rapunzel is cast into the desert and her prince is tricked into falling from the tower and is blinded. After years of searching for each other, the two find each other. Rapunzel's tears heal the prince's eyes and they return to their kingdom and have a happy ending. Okay, before I explain the story of Rapunzel, the first one I want to explain elements of fiction. The first one is plot. Plot is how the author arrange events to develop the basic idea. It is the sequence of events in a story or play. There are five essential parts of plot. The first one is exposition or introduction, and then rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution or conclusion. The second element is setting, time and location that a story takes place. There are multiple aspects to consider. The first one is place or geographical location. Where is the action of the story taking place? And then time, historical period, time of day, year, etc. And then mood or atmosphere. What feeling is created at the beginning of the story? And the next one is point of view, the angle from which the story is told. There are several variations of point of view. The first one is first person, story told by the protagonist or a character who interacts closely with the protagonist or other characters. Speaker uses the pronouns I, me, or we. And then second person, story told by a narrator who addresses the reader or some other. Assume you. Speaker use pronouns you, your, and yours. And then third person, story told by a narrator who sees all of the action. Speaker uses the pronouns he, she, it, they, his, hers, its, and etc. Element is character. There are two types of character. The first one is protagonist. Protagonist is clear center of story. All major events are important to this character. And then antagonist, opposition or enemy of main character. And the last one is theme. Is central message or moral of the story, an underlying meaning of a fictional piece, may be the author's thought on the topic or view of human nature. The summary of Rapunzel's story. Okay, we move to the plot. The first one is exposition, where the introduction to the character. A married couple are childless but long for a child. They live in a house which overlooks a beautiful garden in which rampion, or a wildflower which used to be grown as an edible vegetable, grows in abundance. And the next one is rising action, where the husband stole the rampion and the witch found him. One day, however, the wife is overcome by her desire for some rampion, so her husband sneaks into the garden and steals some, which his wife eagerly eats. The husband goes to fetch some more, but is caught red-handed by the witch, who threatens to punish him. The husband pleads for mercy, so the witch says that if he promises to give her firstborn child to her, she will let them eat as much rampion from her garden as they wish. The husband agrees. When the baby girl was born, he named her Rapunzel, but the witch appeared and took her away. When Rapunzel grew up, she was locked in a tower. When she wanted to visit Rapunzel, she just said, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And then climax, when the witch knew there is someone else found Rapunzel. A few years later, a prince is riding through the forest when he hears Rapunzel singing a beautiful song to help her pass the time all alone in her prison. He tries to find the door into the tower but has no luck. So he rides off. But Rapunzel's sweet song is so enchanting that he keeps returning to the forest every day to hear it. And one day he looked how the witch get into the tower, so he follows that way, and he found Rapunzel and fell in love with her. The prince helped Rapunzel to escape from the witch and her tower. The witch realized that Rapunzel has been found by someone else, cuts off the girl's long golden hair in spite, and banishes her into the wilderness. When the prince comes to the tower that evening and says, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, the witch throws down Rapunzel's severed locks, and the prince duly climbs up into the tower, only to be met by the ugly witch rather than his beautiful bride-to-be. Seeing that his beloved has been taken from him, the prince hurls himself from the tower in his grief. And the next falling action, when the prince becomes blind because of the witch. He survives the fall, but lands on some thorns which blind him. He then wanders the land blindly until one day he comes across the place where Rapunzel, now a mother to twin child she conceived with the prince during one of their evening trips, is living. And the last one is resolution. She weeps to see her lover without eyes, but when her tears fall on his face, his sight is magically restored. He takes Rapunzel and their children to his kingdom, where they proceed to live happily ever after, as is often the way with these things. Point of view of this story is third person omniscient. Omniscience means godlike, where the narrator knows and sees everything and can move from one character's mind to another. Why third person point of view? It is because the story uses pronouns she, he, her, his, name like Rapunzel and etc. Character. And the first one is parents of Rapunzel. Both of Rapunzel's parents were guilty of stealing. Even though they finally apologized, the situation remained unfavorable as they were dealing with someone who wasn't easy to deal with. And then an antagonist one is the witch. He actually could easily forgive Rapunzel's parents, however, preparing to separate the parent and child. And the most important one is Rapunzel. She is a girl who has a good personality. It's just that because during his life he was confined, she became rebellious and wanted his freedom. Her freedom, I mean. And the last one is Prince. He is a figure who never gives up. He never gave up on finding Rapunzel, even though he couldn't. Place of the story take place is officially listed on the story. Some of these include beach, gardens, towers, and prince kingdom. And then the time setting has also been mentioned. Examples are at night, one day, etc. And the last one is mood. For the setting, the atmosphere of the fairy tale Rapunzel has also been written. The dominating atmosphere is fear, boredom, loneliness, anger, and happiness. Elements of fiction is theme. The theme of Rapunzel fairy tale is freedom. All her life, Rapunzel was locked in a tower and could not get out. She also must obey all orders of the mothers who raised her. Therefore, once he wanted to live freely, not only to breathe fresh air, but also to do what she wants. Uh, The theme of Rapunzel fairy tale is freedom because she always walks in the tower. The last one is moral value. This tale teaches many lessons to children. The consequences of stealing, the value of patience and determination are some of these qualities. It is because of Rapunzel's parents' action that Rapunzel is taken away by the witch. Yet, at the end of the story, it is the young lovers' patience and determination to find each other that unite them. Therefore, the moral of the story can be described as follows. When something is destined to happen, then no one by any of their powers can stop that from happening. We should never give up on our hopes, no matter how bad or hard the situation. I think that's all. Thank you for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.